Hey, happy Sunday, Beach Bombs. Thanks for jumping in here as usual with me. Last minute, 30-minute warning. That's all you get. Today's going to be a football. I think it's time for some cruise talk. So thank you for being here. We'll let YouTube send its notifications out. Let's get the whole cruise family in here. I see many of you already in here, so I appreciate that you're here. Well, let me turn that down. Okay. So while we're waiting for everybody to get in here, the whole premise of today's um, live talk or cruise talk, if you will, is the Long Beach Embarkation Day cheat sheet that I put together. I know many of you have already been made aware of it through my Facebook page, and that's where the document's going to live. And I'll repeat that a few times as we kind of go through this through the show. But that the document will continue to live there, continue to be updated, and I'll explain why. As we move forward. But I think it's just really important for this information to be out there. I think the port employees definitely appreciate it. Actually, I have a port employee that I verify a lot of this information with. So I think that, and as I go out there every month, excuse me, as I'm going out every month, I'll verify this information, and even in between, as things change, I'll make sure that I'm updating the document. Because as you know, things are always evolving. One of the biggest things, and I meant to put out like a real quick short video of this, and I see people popping in, so I'll just go in and make sure I'm not missing any questions or anything. But mostly a bunch of people saying hello and thank you for being here. Antonio, yes, I was on the Celebration cruise. I actually did it back to back, the March 4th cruise and the March 7th cruise. So absolutely, hey Nancy, I see you there. Shane, Donzo, what's going on? April, I see you there. Shelley Lou, Sherry Smith. Bree, how you doing? My friend Sarah, she was in first here in the chat. Sarah McCroskey, how are you? I was very happy with the Long Beach Cruise Terminal. It's very efficient, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll tell you, maybe hello, Janet P. Hi, welcome in. Thank you, Shelley Lou. Yes, if you can hit that like button again, it just lets YouTube know that you like what you're seeing, and hopefully we'll share it out to more people. So come on Friday, yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So what I wanted really to do, and going back to Nautical Nurse Nancy's point, and maybe I'm a little bit biased because that's my home port, but I just went to Miami, and granted, it wasn't terrible. It was really, really fast, and I felt kind of rushed through, but I guess that's not a bad thing necessarily, but I don't know. I feel like the Long Beach Cruise Terminal kind of has things done right. Now, one of the things that you'll find is after about noonish, and I always get there early. After about noonish, from like noon to 2, it is really busy. So if you have a noon to 2 kind of time frame, unless you want to sit and wait outside along the line, I would try to get close to your appointment time. So that's tip number 1. But a lot of this stuff is in this. What's going on? I see you there. What's going on, Flipper and Eric? I miss you. I miss you too. I miss you guys too. 20G, I see you just signed up for that December 2nd cruise. Glad that you're going to be on that. But let me get into this cheat sheet so that way we've got people in here. I don't maybe specifically for that, but we have some time afterwards. We'll definitely chit chat. Like the Long Beach cruise was very, very warm, especially if you're on the queue. You mean outside? I didn't notice it inside, but maybe if you're talking about outside. All right, so let's go ahead and let me get started here. So again, and I'll say it again, and I'll repeat it a few times. This document lives in the Beach Life. I just recently renamed it Cruise and Travel Community Group, Facebook group. So if you're not in there, come join. And if you need information on or a link, we'll drop it in here for you. But come join because that's where this lives. I actually have a Carnival Cruise first timers cheat sheet that I created. I'll probably do another episode about that. But and again, this will constantly be updated. So here we go. So the address for Long Beach Cruise Terminal, if you're looking, it's 231 Windsor Way, Long Beach, California, 90802. So that's the address. If you're putting it into your GPS device, that's the address you're looking for. It's also important if you're going to use Amazon lockers. Again, it's the 231 Windsor Way address. It'll say at Carnival Cruise Terminal parking. It'll also say Amazon Hub Locker Wilford, I think is what I have in my notes here. That's what I got. Now, one key thing on that, what I've been told, and I haven't used this personally, and I always try to tell you if I've done something personally, if I've just heard it secondhand or third hand, but in this particular case, I've heard secondhand info that those lockers get pretty filled up because the staff uses them to order stuff and pick up in between. 3-day, 4-day, 7-day, all the different cruises going on out there. So if it's full, it's mainly being used by the staff. Let's see, let me go here and see if there's any question. Honey Rose, do we get assigned a certain time to be at the fort if we do choose our city? I believe you're asking if we choose yourself. Okay, so that's an excellent question. I believe that's in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through this, and anything I answer in here that's not in this document, so I appreciate all the questions, and please keep them coming, because I want to make this document as useful as I can for the groups of people that are going to be going out of the cruise terminal. So anyway, with that said, yes, you do get assigned a certain time, an appointment time. Yeah, it's too far away for me to get to. But anyway, you get an appointment time on your boarding sheet, and it'll tell you like mine is 10 to 10:30 for this upcoming one, October 7th. So that's the time you want to try to show up as close to as possible. Try not to, unless you don't mind. And now the weather's getting a little bit better, so it's not a big deal if you just want to sit down and hang out and people watch. I don't mind. I get there, early, or used to get there early if I had later boarding time and just sit around and people watch. I'm not always anxious. I want to get to the cruise terminal. Like I look at it as I'm either going to be sitting at home or sitting in a hotel room waiting. Why not just sit outside and again maybe talk to some fellow cruisers, that kind of thing. Yes, you do choose it yourself. So 2 weeks before your cruise, you'll have the check-in time to check in online, and that's when you choose it. So that's when you would do that. All right, let's go to the next question. April says, has anyone here traveled on the Radiance in December? So let April know. I have not. I did start cruising on the Radiance until January. So I did the Panorama twice in October and did cruise November and December, and then started cruising Radiance pretty much almost monthly with a couple exceptions starting in January. So if anybody's cruised in December, I don't think Evan's in here, but Evan and his wife did at the end of December, right after Christmas. So if you have a specific question, let me know. If you don't get it answered, April, and I can always ask my buddy Evan. You choose your arrival appointment time and you check in online 14 days before you sail. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And you're welcome, Tanya. Very, very, very welcome. I was on the Radiance for its inaugural in December. It was great weather. Oh, good deal. Okay. So April, do you have a specific question? And hopefully Sarah will be able to answer it for you. And if not, again, I can always ask my buddy Evan. Anybody just want to pop in and say hello? It's an early morning from over here on Eastern Time, so have fun and good night. No worries, Mark. Have a good evening. Trey Matthews, hi. Thoughts with more information for Celebration will be coming out? For the Carnival Celebration, I don't know. And I apologize if Eric, if you're not already part of the Facebook group or you want to join it, I want to keep, especially for rewatches, I kind of want to keep tonight's chat or tonight's live show focused on this Embarkation Day or this Long Beach Cruise Terminal stuff. So, and that goes for anyone. Please, if you could, try to keep the questions as specific as we can around that. Again, because people will watch this on a replay, and I don't want to be going all over the place, especially for people that are on the West Coast that are looking for West Coast information. Again, Eric, I don't mind answering that in the cruise group if you want to ask it over there. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. Just wanted to kind of keep things on topic. Hey, Jessica Romero, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Mr. Quest, hello, honey. We'll be on the October 7th cruise at Long Beach in less than 5 days. Yes, we will. Thank you for all your videos and advice. Hope you're willing to say hello. I will definitely be around. You'll see me. If you can make it to the meet and greet, we're doing a meet and greet the first day. I believe it's 3 p.m. at the Shea. Keep me honest here. 3 p.m. at the Red Frog Pub. So the Red Frog Pub is the one inside, not the one out on the Lido deck. I know some people like to do it out there. Me personally, the reason why I like to do it inside, it's easier to talk. Out there on the Lido deck, those that have been out there, it's super loud and there's no conversation. The whole point for me of doing the meet and greet is to be able to allow people to meet each other and be able to talk to people. I can't do that on the Lido deck, but we do go from there to the Lido deck afterwards to go to the sail away party. So to me, it's kind of the best of both worlds. Yep, come to the meet and greet, and then we have the Mr. Quest. We also have the bar crawl the second day. I want to say 1 p.m. Is it 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Shay? Remind me. Sorry, because I know I'm doing another one. So, all right. So let's see, 5 p.m. Friday. Yep, 3 to 5. Yeah, and actually it'll be more likely. Actually, if you want to edit that, Shay, if it's on the flyer, we want to do it to like 4 maybe 4:30, only because we want to go from there up to the sail away party. 1 p.m. for the okay, cool. 1 p.m. for the bar crawl. But okay, good deal. All right, so let me get to back to as I'm waiting for questions. Stephen Jones coming in saying, "Hey, B12." All right, next one here. Another often asked question is: are reservations needed for the cruise terminal parking? No reservations are needed. I think at Galveston and maybe other places, you need to do reservations. I think you don't need that at Long Beach. There's plenty of parking. There's a multi-story structure, and if that gets full, they have an oversized parking lot. It's actually an employee parking lot where the old Queen Mary parking used to be. So employees park there. They use that for oversized parking. I think I'll be talking about that here in a second. But they also use that for overflow if for whatever reason that parking structure gets full, which I don't know that it ever has, but if it did, that's where they would go. So again, multi-story garage. The height limit for those of you that have big vehicles, big trucks, campers, whatever, is 7 feet. So if you're over 7 feet high, don't even bother. Just go to the oversized parking, which is right next to it. So if you see the Queen Mary, right across from it, there's a big parking lot. I have an Embarkation Day video that shows that parking lot. So if you haven't seen that video, let me know and we'll either drop it in the chat here for me or let me know offline and I'll send you the link. Hey there, I see Wanda, my friend. She's in there in the chat, cruising for food. Okay. Don't try not to lose that ticket if you can, because that's how they determine how long you've been there and how much you're going to be charged. So try not to lose it. Leave it somewhere safe. If you do lose it, they basically would charge you for the total number of days of the cruise as you debark. So if you're cruising on a 3-day or a 4-day, they're just going to assume that you're on that 3-day or 4-day and charge you the $23 a day. But again, try not to lose it, just to have it. I talked about the oversized parking, which is next to the parking structure. Handicap parking, again, this is in that video that I made. Hang on, let's see. And how a cruiser and other groups said Uber and Lyft no longer to pick up some longer. Do they have? Yeah. Oh, I had not heard that. So this is one, I'll go back, like I said, I'll make a note of this, Sarah, or if you want to send it to me in a private message, and either way, and I'll look into that. That's the first I'm hearing of that. So, interesting. I haven't used Uber or Lyft since, way back in October. So if somebody else knows that, let us know. If anybody's used Uber or Lyft recently, yeah, it may be. That's kind of a biggie. Yeah, I'll find out. Like I said, either send me a private message or I'll go back and verify that when I review this live show. Okay. So, handicap parking. It's in the first row near the elevators of the structure. There's some conversation back and forth on whether or not it was on the upper levels. I was told, I didn't verify, or I don't remember if I verified, that it was in the same front row facing the water on each level. Somebody had told me no, there wasn't. Somebody else said no, there it is. So it's hard. Again, I haven't verified it, so we'll have to double check that. Let's see here. Hey, I see people coming in saying hello. MGM, I see you. Puppy, I see you there. Who else? Okay, let everybody say hi's and hellos. Okay, take a picture. Oh, so a couple pro tips that I kind of have in this document. And again, for those that are just coming in, this document lives in my Facebook group, the Beach Life Cruise and Travel Community, so come join there. And again, it'll be constantly updated. So one of the pro tips I put in here is take a picture of the level of location of where you're parked in the structure. You go on these cruises, even if it's a 3-day or 4-day, you're not very familiar with the structure, or a 7-day, it's kind of a long time in between. So I would just, take a picture of where you're at, what level, the spot where you're at, just in case. So when you come back, you have a point of reference. I have that just as a little pro tip. The other thing is when you go in the parking structure, it's pretty dark in there. Some people will turn on their interior light to get stuff or look for stuff. Don't forget to turn off your interior light so you don't end up with a dead battery when you get back. Another thing is give yourself plenty of time. Hang on, let me see. I got a question. Just curious if the pools will be cold or heated on the radius. They're not going to be heated. They use the seawater, so they don't heat them. So in December, I guarantee you, if they're already cool and cold, during these other months, it's going to be cold in December. I would just plan on using the hot tubs. Dennis says handicap parking is on all levels, but thank you, Dennis, for confirming that. Like I said, there's conversation back and forth in my Facebook group, and I hadn't confirmed it, so thank you for confirming that. I believe the Havana pools are slightly heated. The only ship on the West Coast that has Havana is a panorama. They do? They have that? Interesting. Okay. The gang's all here. Absolutely, Stephen. My question will be: the pool be open for swimming in December to bring swim clothes or not to bring? Haha. Yeah. I would bring them for the hot tubs if you're planning on going in the hot tubs. If I remember, they were open, and some people don't care, man. I mean, if they're coming from a cold state, they may not care and still go. I'm trying to remember if I saw people in there, if I saw anybody in there, but yeah, I would still bring the swimsuits for the hot tubs if you're planning on the hot tubs. I'll know in 13 days. I'm hanging in my head. Okay, let me know for sure on that one. Okay, back part sure. Oh, give yourself plenty of time getting to the port. The route to that port can be really confusing. I did do a little video of that as well. My buddy and I, when we were driving to the port, we actually made it for his daughter, and then I decided, hey, there's may benefit from this. So if you want to see that video, let me know as well. But the road, there's a lot of construction, lots of big trucks. It's a commercial area, so you'll just give yourself a lot of time. A lot of slow moving vehicles as you get into that area. So just give yourself plenty of time to just get through. Once you get on that 710. And then get over to the port. It's just going to be a little congested, a little bumpy, and all that stuff. So just be prepared for that. All right. Another pro tip: the Carnival transportation shuttle costs, and this was given to me by the port employee. So I hope this is correct. $31.99 from Long Beach to the port, and $34.99 from Los Angeles LAX to the port. So that's the transportation shuttle cost. On that one, let's see here. You have to rent the daybed cabana for the Serenity Land. Sorry, I'm for Vegas. No, it's first come, first serve on that one. All right, passenger luggage drop off. So we got to the point. Okay, we're at the port now. You're wanting to drop off luggage. You don't have to park to drop off your passengers. You can go. There's an area, and again, this is in the video that I made as well. But you can go in, drop them off, and then you can go and park. So you can drop your passengers off, drop off the luggage, and then go park and then walk. So that way you're not having your whole family and lugging all the luggage with you. You can drop them off. Porters will take your luggage, and then whoever's driving can go park and then meet everybody there. So that's just a nice little thing that a lot of people are just weren't aware of, that you don't have to go park and before dropping off your luggage. Also, that area gets really, really busy. So just as a courtesy to other people, try not to linger. Get your passengers out, get your luggage out, let them handle that part of it, and you go and park, just so they can keep traffic moving through there between other people dropping people off, and hopefully we'll confirm here soon, the Ubers and Lyfts also drop people off in there soon. Okay. Has anyone here stayed? I've stayed at the Hotel Maya. Back in March, I stayed there. Yes, I also would recommend it. It's great. So, okay, I'll let people answer those as I continue to go on that one. Let's see here. So, luggage porters. So, the luggage porters are there. A lot of people always ask, do I have to tip them and stuff? I mean, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this. Tipping is just one of those subjects that gets a lot of people, flustered or whatever. I like to tip them, $2 or $3 a bag, depending on the bag, how heavy, and all that stuff. You tip whatever you feel is comfortable, but it's not required, but it's definitely appreciated. So I would definitely do that. Porters are not available after 2 p.m. So just if you have a later check-in time or appointment time, I would try to get there before that time if you're planning on using the porters, so that way you can use that service. If you don't, you're going to have to take your luggage into security. One of the questions I asked is, what do they do? If the luggage will fit through the X-ray scanner, they'll put the luggage through the X-ray scanner. If it just happens to be so large that it doesn't fit in the X-ray scanner, they'll visually inspect the luggage at a table near the machine. So those that have that question. If you're up early enough, you can watch Reservation. Oh yeah, Absolutely, yeah, you can from there. Mr. Quest says our check-in time is 11 to 11:30 a.m. Do you know around what time they let the peasants go into their rooms? So the rooms are ready at 1:30 p.m. So if they are done early, which some occasions they are a little early, not super early, they'll make an announcement saying the rooms are ready, the doors will open up, have the doors open. So, but 1:30, just plan for 1:30 p.m. Mr. Quest. Rooms are available. Okay. So I heard we can drop off our bags to our cabins and they're cleaning it. Is that true? No, April, that is for suite guests, platinum, and diamond guests. You can drop your luggage off and then leave. They'll have sometimes all the rooms, most of it ready, but they don't want you staying in there. But yeah, that is something that's only available for platinum, diamond, and suite guests. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Medical equipment, CPAPs, wheelchairs, etc., cannot be checked with the porters. You guys carry those on yourself. So just make sure. Hey, Kathy, I see you down there. Hello, welcome in. So, so just keep that in mind. If you are bringing on CPAPs, wheelchairs, anything like that, they cannot accept medical equipment. The porters, that is. So make sure that stuff is brought on. Samby, if you miss your check-in time and arrive later, it's okay. That appointment time is your time. Now, I would tell you if you have an earlier time, try to make it there. I mean, if your flight gets in later or whatever, that's But if you have the ability to get there, just because it gets busier, so they're not gonna accommodate you and say, oh, okay, you were supposed to be here. Most likely, they'll probably tell you, okay, you're gonna have to wait with everybody else. So, are the staff at Long Beach Carnival? They're all super nice and helpful. No, I think they all work for the port. The ones outside all work for the port. Hey Eric, welcome in. First of all, I came across your channel after I booked my first cruise coming November 4th. Thanks for all the information. Best on YouTube. Well, thank you, Eric. That's very, very nice of you to say. I just try to make sure that I'm helping out, especially the newer cruisers. It's funny because when I was talking to this port employee, this is why I'm doing this, because I provided this document, but sometimes people are like, I don't read, or I didn't hear about it, or I didn't see it, so I thought, well, let me just do an episode, a live cruise talk about it, and have it available for people to watch as well. So, but thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate it. Has anyone here stayed on level deck 2? Deck 2? I think I have. I'd have to double check, but okay. Sticking with the embarkation day. Sorry, April. I'd be happy to answer a lot of these questions for you offline. I know you messaged me before, but I kind of want to keep everything, unless somebody wants to answer in the comments. But as far as the live show, I want to kind of keep everything Long Beach Cruise Terminal and embarkation day focused. Okay, just got back from the 4-day Carnival cruise. Fantastic, crazy tip. Took me 11 cruises to figure this out. Keep shower curtain closed when you're done showering to avoid steamed up hair. Oh, that's good info, Santa. That is definitely good info. We're boarding group A4, but my parents are B1. Do you think it'd be an issue if we stayed back to board with them? We both have an arrival time of 10 a.m. They won't let you. Excuse me. They won't let you board. So the B1s can't board with the A4, but they won't have a problem when you stay back and board with B1. Yeah, that shouldn't be an issue at all. I think we ended up doing that with some friends one time. My 12th cruise on Long Beach, I've still learned anything. So, well, thanks, Dennis. I appreciate that. And things are changing all the time. It's not that it's not about experience. I think sometimes, and I want to say this without being sounding offensive or whatever, but sometimes seasoned cruisers kind of get, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. They get offended or they get huffy or whatever that you think that like, oh, everything's like that. Things are changing all the time. So even for me, I'm constantly verifying information. I mean, I've been cruising since the restart, and this will be my 11th cruise, and I've been cruising, but things change all the time. So people will tell me things in here. I go, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, let me verify. So, I appreciate you saying that, Dennis. I don't know. Sometimes, especially in these Facebook groups, some of the seasoned cruisers, they get a little, wound up when you're just trying to help. You still have to wear masks at terminals before boarding. Not anymore. Just recently, I think it was a week ago or maybe a week and a half ago, they dropped it to just recommended. So on the ship, it's been recommended, not required, and the terminal was required, but just recently they moved that to recommended in the terminal. So depending on how you see it, it's definitely good. Good night, Sarah. Thank you for being here. Appreciate the kind words. Let's see, specialist. Okay, one last thing for the boarding luggage area. If you forgot to print your luggage tag, this is another one that's asked pretty often. There's usually a table right by the elevators on the first floor, and there's some porters or whatever that are going to be there, and they can fill out a luggage tag for you. It's like one time I had forgotten to reprint my luggage tag after they assigned my room, so I had to go there and say, hey, I need a new luggage tag for the room because of what I had. We'll still have the TDA or to be determined. So, is it true that you can bring on as many bags as you carry out? Yeah, you can. I mean, as many as you want to carry or lug with you or whatever, you can definitely. It's not like an airplane where they have a lot of rules in that regard. No, you're fine with bringing that as many as you and your family feel like carrying on. How can you get upgraded to a suite if that's even possible besides the rewards plan? I don't, Eric. I'm not really sure that there are. I mean, they might offer it through like casino offers and things like that, but I don't know of any ways beyond that. So Long Beach Terminal was a breeze compared to others. Seattle was a mess. It took way longer. Yeah, again, like I said, I haven't cruised out of the other terminals in a long time. Just recently, I went out of Miami. It was fine. It wasn't like I said. I went through there quickly, but I just feel like they do it really well there. Let's see here. People needing special assistance. Okay, let's get to the special assistance part of it. TJ Wills, on your information. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I think everybody takes different approaches to, to the way they do things on YouTube. I think a lot of people will come on and they, God, I hate to use the term. They kind of copycat. And they go, oh, these other channels that are big have been doing these daily vlogs, and maybe I should do that and that kind of thing. And it works for some and it works for others. I decided to go the informational route. It works for me. It works for my channel. It's what I want to do for my channel. So I don't know that, I think everybody does things a different way. And I appreciate all the love in that regards. Again, like I said, everybody chooses to do their channel in a certain direction. So she's responding to as on Saturno. Honey, hands down, you are the best and most knowledgeable cruiser I need to. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Again, for me, it's a different style than others. Others again have taken that daily vlog route, and that's fine. It's some people really enjoy that, and some people are just I want to get the info and move on. So let me get a drink in and I'll keep going here. All right, for special assistance, if you have somebody requiring special assistance or mobility issues, they use the same drop-off area as everybody else. So there's not like a special drop-off area, but luckily it's not that far. The parking structure's here, the cruise terminal's here. There's like a little driveway, if you will, in between, and you just cross that driveway and you're walking towards the terminal. So luckily it's not very far. You can bring ginger ale and Red Bulls as carry-on. You can bring on 12-ounce cans, a 12-pack of 12-ounce cans or less. So they can be less than 12 ounces or it can be less than 12-pack. But yeah, they can't be larger than 12 ounces and they can't be more than 12-pack. Thanks. We appreciate all your updates. Glad the ratings on the 14th. Can't wait. Thank you, Jessica. I appreciate that. All right, going back to the special assistance. Will the bars be open at 11 a.m.? You bet they will. That is where they make all their money. So yeah, as soon as you get on that ship, the bars will be available. And that's where your boarding pass is very key. I think that's coming up here. But that boarding pass is key to have printed out. And if you don't have it, they'll print it out for you because they use that barcode to charge you until you get your sale sign card. So just keep that in mind. But yes, the bars will be open. I have a question regarding the new system of COVID tests. Has anyone used to take a picture? I have not. I think that's for the unvaccinated, right? I've heard that you can, but I would definitely refer you to the Have Fun, Be Safe protocols from Carnival to confirm. But if somebody else wants to answer that, that'd be good. Guess what time will the bars open? Yeah, as soon as we get on the ship, they'll be open April for sure. All right. If you need wheelchair assistance at the port, make sure you notify the agent that's at the curb. If there's not an agent, right? So again, there's the parking structure. You go across the curb, and then you're on the terminal side. And just if you look over to your left, there's this scoot around place, and you'll see a scooter and a wheelchair. You can rent from there. If you don't see a Carnival employee, there used to be a port employee right there. Now I've noticed they're more further back. But if you see one there, ask them. If not, go inside and scoot around and ask for assistance. Now, when they call an order for someone to come assist you, don't leave the area. Wait for them patiently to come get you. They're not going to go looking for you. So if you leave the area, guess what? They're not going to go looking for you. So please, I'm saying this because this is information I'm getting from the port employees. So I'm here as the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. That's what they're telling me. Can you use your California Apple Wallet? I don't know. And you may have been the one that asked me. Somebody asked me that before, and I'm not sure. I've always just used my vaccination card. Julie said they use it. Okay. Oh man, I've been talking too much. Let me get another swing here. Okay. When the wheelchair system comes, they'll take you all the way to the ship. Once you get to the ship, they'll turn you over to the Carnival employees on the ship. And then, so that's the port employee will just take you to the ship, and then the Carnival will take over from there if you need assistance. There's no fee for the service, but again, gratuity is greatly appreciated. And again, as a reminder, be patient and wait for them because, again, they will not come looking for you. So, there is, again, I mentioned that mobility equipment rental place there at the terminal. It's called Scoot Around. So I did get the pricing because I was asking, like, is it the same price for 3 to 4 days versus 7 days? So I did get an update. So the cost for a wheelchair is $75, and that's for a 3, 4, or a 7 day. The mobility scooter is $195 for 7 days. $175 for the 3 or 4 day cruises. If you need what they call an HD chair, which is a larger chair for higher weight capacity, that is going to be $225. So, and the price is the same whether it's 3, 4, or 7 days. So that $225 is the same whether you rent it for 3, 4, and 7 days. So that's the information about mobility scooter rentals. Looking for any questions? Free as well, that stuff for maybe. Gotcha. All right. So now let's talk about embarkation when you get to the terminal. So we've gone from the parking structure. Ginger. Okay, sorry. The person that I usually talk to from the terminal. Ginger, you have to be subscribed probably if you're not subscribed to the channel. So if you're watching, you may have to subscribe to the channel to be able to type. You can just type in the chat down at the bottom. If not, you can maybe just, I'll try to watch over here and see if you answer these questions. I appreciate it, but thank you, Ginger. That's the port employee that helps me out. Okay, so she was just sending me a message on Facebook. Embarkation. Okay, so we got to the terminal now. Let's see. Question about online check-in. Mine is October 21st. If I check in October 29th at 9 p.m. Pacific, same time I get a better boarding time. Yes. Absolutely, that's what I do. I always check in at 9 p.m. Pacific time the night before, the check-in. It's midnight, right, the next day, Eastern time. And I'm going to give you guys another little hint. I provided this little hint, and just because you guys are part of my Beach Bums family, I'm going to tell you this. When you do that check-in, do the skip to next, skip, until you get to the check-in. It's to say, do you want your check-in time? You say yes, it'll give it to you, and then go back and fill in all your information. Don't wait to fill in all the information because there's a chance that you're going to go later. So if you really want an earlier time, that's the little pro tip I'm going to give you is do the skip for now until you get your appointment time, and then go back and fill in everything. Let's see here. Okay. Embarkation terminal. Do not arrive before your appointment time, especially if you have a later appointment. They normally do not let people in early. You have to wait outside your arrival time, so just keep that in mind. The other thing, there's a priority line for outside for just suite guests, not platinum, diamond, anybody else. There's only a priority line for suite guests. Once you get past security, once you're inside, you'll notice there's a diamond and platinum line that you can get into to go to that final check-in area. So you'll see that in there, and you'll see that in my video as well. They do not have a separate line for special assistants or families with children or global entry or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Also, keep your boarding passes out and easily accessible. You're going to show them multiple times. You'll show them at the main check-in. When you're first walking into the terminal, you'll show it at the little tabletop area. You'll show it again, a few times. So, and then they actually added, I think, one more check-in right before you go onto the gateway. They're asking for your boarding pass there. So they're now doing double stamps. So just keep that in mind. And keep it with you when you don't ship. If you're planning on buying drinks, you're going to need that boarding pass. So just keep it handy. If you have a backpack, a purse, or whatever, just keep it handy with you. So there, okay. All right. So let's talk about that first checkpoint. That first checkpoint, make sure that you have your boarding pass printed out. If you don't have it, they're going to have to print it out for you. They may delay your process. So just keep that in mind. Just make sure to have it printed out. If you can't print it out, again, they'll do it for you. Make sure each passenger's boarding pass is printed out separately, and make sure you're not printing double-sided, like yours on one side and your significant other or whatever. Print them out separately on their own sheets of paper. It just makes it harder to scan. So just another little tip that I got from my friend Ginger. Make sure the barcode on the top right is legible. So when you do print it out, up to the top right, make sure that barcode is legible. If you forgot to bring your boarding pass, one of the port employees will print it for you. Again, it just may delay things for you a little bit. So, all right, good night, Wanda. Thank you for being here. Trendy, thank you. Appreciate it. Great live show. That's for all that info. Yeah, you're welcome. Very much so. What are we at here? Okay, I know there's a lot of information. I don't know if I'm going to get through it all, but I'll try to get through as much as I can. I might have to do a part 2 later on. Okay. The first checkpoint. Okay, so I need to update that. It says masks are still required. They are not required as of recently. So I need to change that. Okay, second checkpoint. Maybe I'll note there. The agents are going to have paddles. So you're going to go through the first checkpoint and you're going to get no worries. Okay, I guess it'll be. Does the Cheers package start the day of boarding or fall day? It starts on the same day. Okay, so the agents are going to have. Oh, okay, that must be Ginger. Okay, figured it out. Thank you. I was like, it took me a second. All right, so once you come into the terminal, you're going to kind of zigzag through the line, and then you're going to see all these little tabletops as you go in there. I'm going to close it out because now she's in here. And then you're going to see them. They're going to have little paddles. There'll be a port employee basically telling you go to number this, number that, number that. So they'll hold them up. You'll go to their one the agent directs you to. When you go to that stop, you're going to be showing your boarding pass, your passport or birth certificate and ID, whichever you brought with you for your verification, your vaccination card for the vaccinated guests, and if you're unvaccinated, make sure you have your negative COVID test that you got to take it 3 days prior. So. Okay, so on that one, the check-in process is done by the cabin. It's just something that was also mentioned to me. So if you have multiple cabins in your party, so April, listen to this one. If you have multiple cabins in your party, make sure everyone has their boarding pass in hand, and you're grouped together by your cabins. This is going to make the process smoother. So I'm going to repeat that again. So April, because I know you're coming with a large party, make sure that everybody has their own boarding pass in hand, and then group them together by their cabins. So whoever's going to be cruising together, make sure that you group them together. What's going on? Midnight Crazy, I see you down there. And Cruise Nights, I see you. What's going on? You can use your Verify during that part of the process, or when you're at that check-in. You can use the Verify. Keep in mind that Verify only has your vaccine and negative COVID test uploaded. So again, if you're not needing a negative COVID test, it's going to be just your vaccine card. It's not mandatory. I see this question a lot. It's not mandatory. I know people get frustrated. They're like, "Oh, this isn't working." And I try to remind them, it's not mandatory. Just bring your stuff with you. Just forget it. It's I know some people swear by it, and that's fine. I appreciate that. But I just never saw it being a time saving, even if you can do your COVID test. When you get your card for your room drink package on check-in, you'll get it when you go to your room, so around 1:30. But in the meantime, you can go and get your drinks. Even when you have the Cheers package, you can use your boarding pass. And they'll know that you have the trip packet based off of your information. Yeah. If you pick on the state-approved website, shows your vaccine information with a QR code box on top. We don't accept pictures of the cards on your phone. Okay, so that's the answer from the port employee. She's saying that make sure you bring your vaccination card. They won't accept pictures of the cards on your phone. So, okay, stay on the side. Okay, let's see here. All right, talking about the boarding pass. Was that for the? Read that again. No, vaccine. Okay. Verified is not checked. Oh, here's another key one that she told me here recently. Verified doesn't check you in, right, with the Carnival. The systems are not connected. Verified is a third-party app, not connected with Carnival in any way. So make sure you're checking in on the Carnival website 2 weeks before your cruise, and you're filling in all your applicable travel-related information. So don't think, oh, I already filled everything, or put my information on Verified. Carnival should have it. Guess what? You're going to show up. And you're again. So and what happens is I see these on Facebook groups. People going, "Oh, it was a terrible experience. My check-in was bad." And I'm thinking, how? How did this happen? So now, in talking to port employees, people are doing it to themselves, and they're blaming everybody else as usual. So listen, shame on you if you're not watching YouTube videos, if you're not reading things, if you're not joining Facebook groups. Shame on you. That's all I got to say. Listen, there's people like me, and I'm not the only person that's trying to be helpful. There's plenty of people that are trying to be helpful through Facebook groups, through YouTube. Try to provide information. Shame on you. It's not the port's fault. It's your fault. So just keep that in mind. Don't be belligerent towards these port employees. The pools and water slides are, if the weather is not hot. I remember when I went in November. Yeah, in November. Gosh, I don't remember. Was it November? January, February, it was still open. So yes, to answer your question, it was open. January, yeah. What are the hours? I don't know. I have that somewhere. Eric, I don't know if we're connected on Facebook, but check with me offline unless somebody else knows. But I have it somewhere. I don't think it's necessary anymore. And I never thought it was necessary, even when you could upload your stuff. It was never mandatory. I used it a couple of times. I just didn't see huge time savings. I don't want to get to, because I know some people get all offended and they're like, again, it's just my opinion. I don't see it as being a big help. And then they complain because, it didn't work in the port, and this and that, and everything else. And it's like, well, you could have just brought your paperwork with you. So, all right, third point. Okay, so the third checkpoint is your security check. You'll send your carry-on items through an X-ray scanner, and you'll walk through a metal detector. That's the security check. Any open beverages and food containers are not going to be allowed, so don't even bother. Plastic bottles of any kind, including water, are also not allowed. So again, don't wait for for the unvaxxed, you just need a photo of your COVID test, or you still get a proctor test. From what I heard, you could do the test yourself and take a photo. But again, I'd have to check and see what it says on the Have Fun, Be Safe protocols, unless somebody else has done it recently. The third checkpoint, talked about that. Okay, pro tips for that one. You're allowed to bring one 750 milliliter bottle of wine or champagne per adult and one 12-pack of 12-ounce canned, no plastic, non-alcoholic drinks per person on the ship. They must be carried on with you, or if you're carrying on, do not put them in your truck luggage. Very, very important. And also, if you're bringing on the 12-pack, secure it with a bunch of tape, or try to put it in a bag, or try to put it in something, because from what I'm being told by my port employee friend, there's a lot of times where that will rip and just cause a lot of trouble. So just make sure the Ace Max. Hey, what's going on, Ace Max? Welcome in. Ace Max. A photo of your negative COVID test is fine. But thank you. I appreciate that. I was hoping you'd be able to answer that because I wasn't sure exactly what to accept. Okay. All right. So now, so that was the other pro tip. If you choose to bring soda or whatever and secure it properly, the cardboard containers they come in are flimsy and tend to break. If you bring wine, pack something to open it with. That's another little pro tip for you there. Okay, now we get to the final checkpoint within the bottom half of the terminal. And that's where they check your boarding pass and your travel document. They'll check your boarding pass and passport or birth certificate and ID. They'll not ask you for your vaccine card or your proof of negative test for the unvaxxed, so you can keep those put away. You won't need them at that last checkpoint. Another thing to just keep in mind in that terminal, There are no food or drink options available inside the terminal. The concession stand that used to be there is closed. So just keep that in mind. You can bring in snacks and stuff with you. You just can't be open. You can open them once you get past through security or whatever, but just keep that in mind. So there's no food or drink options that you can purchase when you're inside. Also, another pro tip: if you're a diamond, platinum, or suite guest, the captain's lounge is open again. It's available on the far backside of the terminal by the boarding area. There's some comfortable chairs and restrooms, some chargers. I think where you can charge your electronics. There's a restroom inside that lounge. Again, no food or drink are offered in there. I think at one time they used to. So let's see here. Are check-on bags okay? Do we really get stolen? Is there protection? Check-on bags okay? Are you talking about like when you check them with the porters? I do. Listen, as many people and as many Facebook groups and then I've not heard people complaining about that. I'm not. I think you can never 100% guarantee anything, right? So I'm not here to 100% guarantee, but based, just statistically, based off the number of people that I've seen going through the cruises and this and that, I don't remember a time I've heard somebody complain that their luggage was stolen. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Okay, so when you get to the boarding part of it, you get in the terminal, you've gone through all the checkpoints, and you sit. Oh yeah, I mean they do the bags again. Same thing. I haven't heard anybody say. I know they leave them in front of your room. I haven't heard anybody complaining that their stuff was stolen. So I'm just going off. You're welcome. I'm just going off of percentages of people that I talk to or listen to or whatever on there. So sorry. Okay, just want to make sure messages coming in. Okay, so that when you get to the boarding is done kind of like the airline. So they'll start with the suite guests first, and then they'll start calling the boarding zone, starting with A01. From there, the process is again, like I said, similar to boarding a plane. Your boarding group is assigned when you get checked in for your cruise, so you'll see that in the top right corner of your boarding pass. The boarding typically has been starting between 11 and 11:30. Ginger, if that's changed since August, let me know, but that's what it's been. There's no early boarding for those needing special assistance. You're just going to board with your boarding group. So if you're in a wheelchair and this and that, you're just going to board with your regular boarding group. A pro tip that I put in this document: the boarding time is not the same as your appointment time. So the appointment time is when you should arrive to the port, to the terminal, and then the boarding time is when you actually board the ship. So don't get those two confused. If you see 10 to 10:30 or 10:30 to 11, once you go through the check-in process, you're still waiting in the terminal until they start boarding the ship. So sometimes there's some confusion between there. I just want to make sure people understand that. All right. When you go through the doors, start boarding the ship, they're going to make you go right up a very long ramp that eventually takes you to that final checkpoint. If you need special assistance, if you're in a wheelchair, scooter, whatever, have a hard time walking, just go straight. Just go straight, and then there's an elevator that will take you up to the stairs, and you avoid the ramp. Okay, so just keep that in mind. When you start boarding, if you go straight, if you need special assistance, etc., go straight. Everybody else has to do the walk up the ramp. So, let's see. Okay, I've called this the fifth checkpoint. So they're going to do the facial scan and one more boarding pass check just before you get on the gateway to get on the ship. So that's just a new thing that they added, that the boarding pass check. The facial scan was always there. They weren't checking boarding passes, but something must have happened, and now they're checking boarding passes one final time again before you get on the ship. Oh, we made it through the whole document. Very cool. Okay, so just some other little tidbits, and then we'll wrap this up. Thank you, everybody that's kind of hung in there with me. Do your muster drill as soon as you get on the ship. I preach this every time. I'm going to continue to say it every time because it's a courtesy to others. It just makes things easier for everybody. Just get it done as quickly as possible. It takes literally about a minute and a half or so to get it done. Just go and get it done. Then go, plenty of time to enjoy food and drinks. This question was asked earlier. Cabins are usually available around 1:30. If you're a suite, diamond, platinum guest, you can drop your stuff off in your cabin, but you must leave. Don't linger, so they can continue doing what they got to do. Put your phone in airplane mode as soon as possible, no later than sail away. You don't want those roaming charges. So just another pro tip there, make sure to put that phone in airplane mode as soon as you can. As soon as you can, also get familiar with that Carnival Hub app when you get on the ship. Lots of information on there that's very, very helpful. So get that downloaded before you get on the ship, and then get logged in as soon as you can. You don't need to purchase the internet to use that app. So again, definitely use that. One last thing here: when you see a room steward, say hello. They'll introduce themselves, and tell them any special requests you have. If you want ice in your room every day, if you want robes for you to go to the pool with, or whatever, you'll have to ask for those things. Hey, Sarah, I see you. What's going on? Let's see, Sarah Skinner. Anybody else? Okay. So anyway, I just want to make sure that's the time. If there's anything, those are just two things I pointed out. Ice bucket, if you want an ice bucket daily and robes, that's the time to ask them if there's anything else you need. Again, it'd be very nice. You tip them. Some people will tip them at the end. Some people will tip them at the beginning and then tip them again at the end. Again, up to you. All right. So let me go down. Now that we're done with that part, so anybody have questions, go ahead and ask them, and then I'll probably wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll answer questions for the next 10 minutes, and then anything else, of course, you all know how to get a hold of me. What is the best bar on the ship? I would say, listen, they're all good, right? I have grown more and more fond of the Alchemy bar just because it's really cool. They do a lot of different drinks. You got to pay a little bit more there, from what I've heard. But I truly enjoy the Alchemy bar. So others can chime in, but Eric, I would say for me, the Alchemy bar. You mentioned the 12-pack of non-alcoholic drinks. I was wondering, does it have to be in the original box? I'm trying to figure out if I can bring 6 cans of 2 different drinks. Yeah, that's a good question. It's been asked before. And Ginger, if you're still in here, if you can let me know, because that's been asked. Okay, looks like she's answering me. Drinks do not have to be in the original box, just not plastic. Okay, thank you. Because I want to add that to my sheet here, because that's been asked to me before. I wasn't sure what the answer is. So there you go. That's a port employee telling you that, Ace. So you should be good to go. Eric says, and if you have a cheers package, you still have to tip because I think gratuity included. It is included, the gratuity. I would tell you, and again, take this for whatever it's worth. Some people like to tip in addition to that gratuity. If you have a good bartender, and this goes on land, it's not anywhere. Like the more you take care of anybody in the service-based industry and you tip them, trust me, you're going to get, just the way it is, good, better, and different, right? You're going to get, a little bit more attention than others, right? So just keep that in mind. A buck a drink, buck every other drink, however you want to do it. But but you don't have to, I guess, to answer your question. I have been watching YouTube videos. I'm super excited. I think you're talking shit. I have nothing compared to it. It was awesome. Okay. Any other questions? I got about 8 more minutes, and I'm going to wrap it up. And go have some dinner. So, any other questions? Oh, you're very welcome, Ace. Anyone going on November 4th, first round on me? Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. I'm going to be on a week after you, Eric. I'll take you up on that. I'll be on November 11th. The club gets lit after midnight. Perfect people watching, like us Vegas folks love to do. Yeah, that club definitely gets pretty crazy, for sure. So I'm glad I got through the document. So again, if there's any other embarkation day questions or any information, again, I'm going to just say this one more time before I wrap up here. Thanks for the advice and information. Thank you. You're welcome. Is this document lives over on my Facebook group. So, and I know I've been mentioning it to people in roll calls, and it's not because, and again, you have no obligation to stay. I say this all the time, but it's easier for me to just keep it in one space and have it and update it there than to try to remember that, I got to update it here, and update it here, and update it here. So, just keep that in mind. I know there's a lot of different Facebook groups. I know there's a lot of different roll call groups, but for those that are not part of the Facebook group that I manage for my the Beach Life channel, the Cruise and Travel Community channel, come join us. It's a good way to get a lot of information. Why are people saying Carnival is a warmer cruise for people that want to sleep before? Listen, I mean, you can't change what people say, unfortunately, or perceptions and stuff like that. I think, Carnival definitely is, and this conversation has been taking place recently about whether or not they're focusing more on newer cruisers. It's definitely more of a entry level, if you will, like to cruising. A lot of people will try it out, and definitely more affordable. Um, Royal Caribbean definitely gets that rap of, people, they roll up the sidewalks after 9 p.m. Here's what I'll tell you, and I'll tell everybody else. You have to try it for yourself before you. I cannot speak to Royal, NCL, Princess, Holland America, on and on, because I haven't cruised on it. So I enjoy Carnival. It's not a without sounding really bad or arrogant here, it's not a money thing because I can definitely afford to go on a much more expensive cruise lines. But that's not who I am, right? I feel like cruising is a personality, cruise personality, and I just love it. I don't see myself as being like, oh, beyond or better than anybody else or anything like that. I love having a good time, and I feel like on Carnival people are genuinely having a good time. Yes, have they had some issues with fights and things like that on board, but that happens on other ships. That happens here from Vegas. That happens. We talked about this, I believe. Those things happen in Las Vegas. I've seen it plenty of times. I think I've seen it more in Vegas than I have anywhere else. To be honest with you, fights in the street, fights in the casino. So anyway, take that for what it's worth. I would say, like with food and everything else, try it for yourself. I wonder if they have team on the West Coast. Hey, you know what, Dave? That's a good question. I'm gonna have to ask because that would be really good on the horizon. So I'll have to ask and see. I'll let you know. Remind me. Send me a message because I'll probably forget because I've got like a million things I gotta try to remember to do. I have a question. What are the usual times for boarding with interior room? Well, the boarding is going to start at the same time. It's going to start anywhere between 11 and 11:30, and it's going to be based off of your boarding zone. I don't think it really matters what type of room you have or anything like that. It's really based off of when you checked in and what boarding zone you got, Christopher. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Let's see here. Anything else? I have to know why people come. Again, listen, I think they say it because they think that, because it tends to be, you go to, okay, so like if you go to Walmart or Target, right, so you're going to find things probably a little bit cheaper on Walmart than you would at Target, right? And so the cruises tend to be a little bit cheaper on Carnival than they do on Royal or NCL or some of these other ships. So that's what they go with. I can't speak to ignorance. I'm sorry. I know you're probably seriously trying to ask that question, but I won't. I'm not entertaining it because I just don't like to speak to ignorance. I feel like people are trying to. And I'm really trying to be delicate with my words here because it really bothers me. It's very offensive. I think they're stereotyping a certain class of people, certain group of people, and it really bugs me. So I'm really trying to avoid the question. I'm not trying to avoid you or avoid it. I'm trying to avoid it because it really bothers me why people say certain things. And I'm just going to leave it at that. If you want to talk privately, I'd be happy. I'm not going to give that any energy. So I apologize. I just don't want to. The balcony rooms have precedence over other rooms. No, the suites do. The suites do, but I don't think balconies do. I could be wrong, but I know the suites do. So, do they still have the? Do they still offer the faster boarding? You cannot see it. No, they don't have it. They might bring it back by the time, November 14th comes around, right? Probably not, but the way, I'll be honest with you, the way their stock has been tanking, any way they can make some extra money, they might start considering it, honestly. I don't understand. Now that, they're kind of trending back towards normal, I don't know why they want to bring faster the fun back, but I can't say. I don't work for Carnival. I can't really speak to it, but it's not back down, as you can see. Ginger there is saying it's not available right now. So, all right, guys, 2 minutes left. Any other last minute questions before I wrap it up here? Thank you again. I'm going to just try to wrap up again. If you're not part of my Facebook group, go ahead and connect with me over at the Beach Life Cruise and Travel community. I have an Instagram account as well, Beach Life YT. I have, of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe for those that are watching this on the replay, especially. Try to subscribe to the channel. I'm always trying to do these little pop-ups here and give information out. My live shows are just going to be informational like this and not on a regular basis, just whenever I have things to chat about. And the best way to make sure that you know when they're going on is either subscribe and hit that notification bell or join the Facebook group, and I'll make a notification there. Have a great evening. Thanks for the videos and advice. Subscriber for life. Well, thank you, Eric. I really appreciate that. And I hope there are many others like you that will continue to follow. Again, I do this for fun. I'll wrap up with this. As people saw in my post on my Facebook group, the money that I'm making off of YouTube, a lot of people like to, not a lot, a few people like to, sit there and go, oh, you're like you like to talk about, your channel a lot, this and everything else. But listen, I'm doing it because I want to help, and I'm trying to prove to these people, listen, the money's being donated to St. Jude. So if you have a problem with me donating to St. Jude, don't watch my videos, don't subscribe to my channel, don't care. I don't care. This is not about me. It's about the cruise community and the people that are coming into the cruise community. I'm focusing mainly on the newer cruisers. Not that I don't care about seasoned cruisers, but it's those seasoned cruisers that really annoy me. Not some of the ones that are here. Those ones that are in these Facebook groups that just, I don't know, they get all offended by somebody wanting to help out. So whatever, I'll leave it at that. If you like what I'm doing, continue to subscribe, continue to tell other people about it, and join me here. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. I'm going to leave it at that. Talk to you all soon. And keep watching.